Makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine. Even if you call
Here
me.
it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So y'all remember last year, Thor Love and Thunder came out. And it was not received well. It wasn't received well. That's just a fact. Uh but and Taika and it's also known that Chris Hemsworth doesn't want to work with Taika Waititi no more. Marvel's Thor: Love and Thunder was a box office hit with 760 million. Cap, it was not. Seven. Let me. I did the math on last stream. I did the math on live stream, but we can do the math again. We can see whether or not it was a hit, right? Let's see whether or not it was a hit. Okay. Thor: Love and Thunder budget. So the Thor: Love and Thunder budget was $250 million. On the low end, we're gonna assume the budget was 150, even though I would argue that I'm not the budget, the marketing budget. I would argue that the marketing budget was probably along the lines of 200 million, but we'll say 150 million, right? Um, that's $400 million. Now let's assume it made 800 million, right? The theaters get 40% of the cut. That's 320 million. So that 800 you made 320 million of that went to the theaters. You bring in 480 million. You only made a $80 million profit. Now you tell me, do you spend $400 million on a film to make only $80 million? No. No. You spend 400 million on a film because you're hoping that you can profit, you can take home at least the amount of the that you spent on the movie. So you at least want to not only make your money back, but then make the amount you spent on the movie, so 250 million. Well, they didn't even make 800 they didn't even make $800 million. They made 760 million. So saying that it's a flop, fuck out. I mean, saying that it's a hit, fuck out of here. Well, no damn hit. 760 million. That means you probably took home about 400 and matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do the math. Let's just go ahead and do the math. 700 304, so 304 million, so 456 million. So you spent 400 million on the movie. You spent 400 you spent 400 and whatever. You get what I mean. 400 million on the movie and you only brought in 56 million dollars. Yeah, all right. You barely broke even. And that's assuming that you didn't spend 200 million on the marketing budget. But anyway, so but a lot of Marvel fans were turned off by writer director Taika Waititi's silly humor and the film's unappealing visual effects. Thor active Chris Hemsworth is aware of the negativity around his fourth Thor movie, and he even admitted in a new GQ magazine profile that Love and Thunder was too silly for its own good. I think we just had too much fun. It just became too silly. Hemsworth said about the movie, it's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process. It's always a ride, but you just don't know how people are going to respond. Hemsworth said his biggest critics were his son's friends. It's a bunch of 8-year-olds critiquing my film. We thought this one had too much humor. The action was cool, but the VFX weren't as good. He said, I cringe and laugh equally at it. Boy, imagine you spend 2 years on a piece of art, thinking this shit finna be fire. Shout out to Shinobi, who said all that did was show how much better physically Cap was. Facts. Been reading comics since 1988 and really stopped buying Marvel about 15 years ago. And that's pretty much where everybody else says the comic industry collapsed. And shouts out to Honey, who's in the chat. But imagine working on a film for 2 years thinking it's finna be a banger. Really 3 years. This finna be a banger. I'm Thor. I'm coming fresh off of Infinity War where you had Bring Me Thanos. Oh, I'm the strongest Avenger. Debatable. I would have said Hulk was the strongest Avenger until he got his colon cleansed by Thanos in Infinity War. I mean, he just got his colon completely cleansed. I mean, Thanos bit him over, lathered his hand up, and said, "Whew, that was hard." And they never redeemed Hulk. And so, can you even take Hulk serious? I'm going off on a tangent. That's unimportant. But you think you finna drop a banger. Thor Love and Thunder is finna be a banger. And we got our diversity and inclusion. We got female King. We got female Thor. Oh, this finna be a banger. It releases. Flop. Everybody hates it. Oh, that's got to be gut-wrenching. And now you at home, sitting on your couch, looking like Fat Thor for real, drinking a beer, and it's some 8-year-olds sitting over here like, boy, that shit was garbage. Trash. We didn't like it. The VFX was terrible. It was too silly. Thor wasn't badassery enough. Oh, my goodness. That's got to hurt. That's got to hurt. But that's what happens. And to be fair, when they did Thor Ragnarok, it hit. So obviously, if you're Taika Waititi and you're Chris Hemsworth and you're looking at Thor 4 flop, why isn't this hitting like it? But that's because y'all dialed it to 11. Thor Ragnarok was good because it was a change of pace. But see, notice how Captain America, each movie did a change of pace that was fresh and new, right? You had the first Captain America, which was like this World War II movie. Then you had the second one, which was like this conspiracy theory, thriller, double agent movie or some shit like that. And then you had Captain America 3, was basically mini Avengers, right? I don't know what the fuck Love and Thunder was supposed to be. And the biggest crime that Thor Love and Thunder commits is what they did to Gore, the fucking God Butcher, man. I mean, this is what we got, right? And like, listen, Christian Bale, you know, he's nice. This is what we could have had. Look at this. And look at this. You had the option to do something absolutely amazing. And you fucked it up. You never showed us anything about, you didn't show us him killing gods. You didn't show us, man, it was just absolutely terrible. It was terrible. It was completely terrible. And so it is what it is. All right. That's Chris Hemsworth. I don't know if he's going to play Thor ever again. But I don't know.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to